I'm Bill Pollock of MissouriNet.com. USA Today ran a story on Tulsa head coach Frank Haith. The main part of the story focused on his relationship with one of his sisters. It shows a side of Haith and his family that you may not know about. It's really well written. And then, of course, it gets into the basketball season, his first year with the Golden Hurricane, and how it's somewhat of a surprise that they're sitting at 17-6. And 10-1 in conference play in the American Athletic Conference. It's even a surprise to Haith. I don't find it as much of a surprise as what everyone else is saying, because we've seen this at Missouri, where he comes in and has success with a program that's actually stacked with a lot of talent. 14 players on the roster, 13 if you minus Corey Haith, who's the add-on there. This is the story from USA Today where I'm pulling this from. But of those 14 that are on the roster, 10 are juniors, and they've got 2 seniors who played a key role in last year's squad that won 21-13 and 13-3 in conference play. And that was DeAndre White and James Woodard. Now, that team, unfortunately, had to go up against UCLA in the first round of the NCAA tournament. I think the Bruins were a 4 seed, and they ended up losing. But those 2 juniors at the time had a great year. So Haith comes into a program that's stacked with talent. We saw him do it here at Mizzou. He had guys like Marcus Denman, Kimmy English, Phil Pressey, Michael Dixon, Ricardo Ratliff, 30 wins, and they lay an egg in Omaha against Norfolk State. And then the program just continued to steadily go down. Now, of course, they made it to the NCAA tournament the next year, and he lost to Colorado State. And then 1-1 in the NIT, and then he sent a text message to Mike Alden that he was leaving after 3 years. And I think pretty much he knew the writing was on the wall. I think fans had enough of him. But he went into the story, and it's not quoted, but it's reported that he said that he could win at least 20 games with this Missouri team. And I wonder his motivation behind it. Are there bitter feelings? Is it a jab against his former employers? Yeah, I think it is. But I don't understand the motivation behind it. And really, quite frankly, I think he's out of his mind. I mean, it's nice to be sitting with a 17-6 record, but when you've got 10 juniors on your roster and you're going to bring guys back next year, yeah, you know what? You should have success. And he's got great assistants around him, Dave Lato. So I think to take a shot at Kim Anderson or the Mizzou basketball program, whether it's a personal attack against Anderson, I don't believe so. But if it's a shot against the Mizzou basketball program, I mean, why do you do that? Look, in terms of Haith as a person, he was a great guy, pretty accessible to the media. He had a rough stretch where he had to deal with the suspension. And so, I don't hold any ill feelings toward him in terms of a reporter covering the Tigers. But in terms of this nonsense and saying that, you could win 20 games and do even better next year, it's nonsense. Because why did you get out of here then? Listen, you knew your head was on the chopping block. Things were in bad shape. Haith is not a very good recruiter. He brings in a lot of transfers, tries to make that happen. Had some success with guys like Jabari Brown, but for the most part, though, I mean, would bring in Dominic Bull, Negus Wester-Chan, and Stefan Jankovic. I mean, those were his big, recruiting names that he brought in, and it's just listen, it was going downhill, and for him to make a statement like that he could win 20 wins with this roster is just ridiculous. Now, in terms of the Missouri Tigers, they've certainly got to turn things around. They're in the midst of one of the program's worst losing streaks, 10 in a row. They've got Mississippi State on Saturday. We'll hear from head coach Kim Anderson. He's speaking with the media Thursday afternoon, and we'll have that, of course, on our affiliated stations across the state of Missouri and at MissouriNet.com. That wraps things up for today. I'm Bill Pollock, MissouriNet.com.